Hey, everybody. Welcome to Prep Talk Live, episode 49. Don't adjust your screens or your anything. It's me, Casey, with Cascadia Dispatch. As well, for those of you who were here last week, our show was pretty flawless. Like, I think it was one of the, if not the best show we've ever had, gotta be top three. Fantastic conversation. All of the technical things worked. We were on time. Like, it was fantastic. We used up all of our good tech karma last week, apparently. So Tup is, he will be here shortly. He said, let's go on, entertain the people, do a little dance, whatever. Welcome everybody in. He'll be here shortly. He is trying to get his microphone fixed. I was able to hear him, but it's not up to the Tup standard. He has a very nice microphone, and he likes to use the very nice microphone. So he is in the middle of restarting and then coming back, and so he will be here shortly. As soon as he is, I will pop him on. We have our show we're going to do probably about a half an hour. There are some tactical piano lessons that are taking place tonight in Tup's world, and so he's going to jump off for that. I also got hit with a big work project, so kind of works out for both of us that we could jump on for a little while, say hi. We're going to talk about prepping meals versus ingredients. I'm sure Tup has no idea why I threw this out or what it means or anything like that, but we will kind of dive into that shortly here. In the meantime, want to say hi to everybody. Modern Day Prepper Chuck is in the building, or in the stream, in the building. It's all virtual. There's no building. Pigs Fly is here. Doja Dog is here. I was like, I'm seeing all of the right people. Pony Girl is here. Gosh, we got everybody. It was kind of fun this time too. Entertain us. Yeah, I'm just dance away. I should get like a sequin jacket or something. It would be like a camo sequin. I feel like I need to order that now. Like, I feel like that is a thing that should happen. Like a camo sequin jacket that's like in camo. I have to see if that exists. I'm sure it does on Amazon, but I totally am gonna have to find that and order that because I feel like that's a must. It was really cool because normally when we get on, the chat doesn't actually start scrolling until we start. But today there was a bunch of people waiting, and so I was actually able to see the chat and let everybody know, hey, we're on our way. So this is totally fantastic. Modern Day Prepper, yes, I would imagine that if I did have a sequin camo jacket, that the subscribers wouldn't even know what to do with themselves. They would be like, oh my goodness, what is happening? This is amazing. Also, before Tup gets on, I'm just going to ask everybody in the group. I had an idea this week, and we'll run it by everybody. So I've been thinking about like my videos and like what I was going to do and kind of how to do that. Tup is doing his streams again and all that stuff. And I was thinking I might do a stream like on Mondays. It'd probably just be me. Like a 20-minute, hey, here's a cool piece of gear that I got or something like that. And here's like a prepping strategy thing. So kind of like what I was doing in like actual produced video form, but doing it more as a stream. I've seen a couple other creators do that sort of a thing. Doing the live streams tends to be a little bit easier to edit. It tends to be a little bit easier to produce. But wanted to kind of does that sound like a good idea? Or does that sound like the worst idea that's ever been created? I know the band is not getting back together. What's happening is Tup and I actually are getting kind of some creative juices going, and we're like, oh, we actually want to like get content out, and this Prep Talk Live has kind of sustained us and allowed us to kind of recharge for the last year. And so I think what's happening is Tup's had some ideas from extra streams and videos that he wants to be putting together. and I've got some ideas as well. Oh, here he is. Tup, we were talking about our divorce.
Yeah,
Okay.
my audio is just not working. This microphone is just done.
So no, the band's not getting back together. It's more of like Tup and I did Prep Talk Live kind of to take a breather and just to have fun. And now I feel like we're getting a little recharged. And so we will still do this. But my idea was to do a little something else extra as well. So Chuck said he'd catch it on replay. Prairie Prepping said she'd watch it. All right. Then I'm gonna put that together. And who knows? Maybe Tup would join me. I'm thinking I could kind of do them like during my like day. Like I've got some blocks of time that I could like knock them out if there were 20 minutes or something like that.
Like Tup, it says Casey is plotting his solo career. You're the Justin Timberlake of NSYNC, I guess.
Look, you and your millions of followers, you have your streams. You invited me to watch the shows with you. I got no invite. I am offended. I am offended. You brought eight. Shoot, I'm blanking.
Bernie.
Yeah, you brought Bernie on. I've been here with you for a year. Bernie gets invited to the big show. Yeah. When was the last time I was in front of the millions and millions?
I didn't see you on there. Were you in the chat? Were you in the chat room on that?
I joined the chat. I was there. Okay.
I must have you blocked on there on mine.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. It felt like a rock moment when it was like the millions and millions of Tup fans.
Yeah, no, I
was like, remember Cascadia Dispatch? It doesn't matter what your name is or what your channel is.
No, that wasn't the intent at all. I think I don't know if I was. It was hard to keep track of like some of the chat room stuff. So I had the link there.
I almost made this episode like Tup's return. How's he doing?
Yeah.
Based on your live stream, but I was like, I saw this TikTok thing, and I was like, all right, this will be a good show as well. But yeah, so I think what's happening is Tup and I both kind of the last year it kind of took it out of us, and this I think for us was a good recharge. It kept the wheels going on prepping, but it let us kind of recharge. And I think we're now both at a spot where like we still you're not planning on leaving, right?
Well, no, we were never gone. I don't think we were just not doing like the dedicated ones and kind of contributing to some of the conversations that were going on for a little bit. But I think that's okay. Again, yeah, my mic. I don't know. So
I'm sure at some point, everyone, that Tup will big time me at some point, and he will believe, his like he already. But wait a minute, let's be honest.
The Doom Zoom.
He tried to do this with the Zoom. He's like, well, let me go hang out with the big boys for a while, and then he got all depressed, and he came back to little old me.
Yeah.
Until
Zoom was depressing.
Yeah, exactly. He was like, oh wait, I don't like that idea. I was like, well, hey. So anyway, welcome to episode 49, the stream that continues.
Yeah.
For anyone who's subscribed to the podcast, I actually got a bunch of podcast episodes loaded up and done. So there's going to be a new podcast episode rolling out every day for the next like several weeks. And the goal is to roll out an episode every week. There'll be all the old ones. So everything that some of you have already seen, or if you haven't already, go back and listen to them if you're podcast people. But the goal is to get all caught up so that we can start then releasing Prep Talk Live episodes. They'll probably be like the Thursday or Friday after we stream. So we'll stream them on a Wednesday or a Friday, whenever we get around to it. And then in the day or two after, I'll turn it around and put it on a podcast. But I don't want to just drop our new ones and not have the old ones. So we want to get them all connected. If you like podcasts, please go ahead and subscribe. Even if you don't listen to them a lot, if you could give us like a 5-star review or rating on them, that would be wonderful. We want to make it on. There were some prepping podcast ratings that came out this last year. And I think this year we have a chance to make it on if we can make a little noise in the podcast space. So
yeah,
we're going to miss a lot. Anyway, Tup, welcome back.
Yeah, how are you? Technical difficulties. It's going okay. Yeah. I still don't know what my mic is really bothering me, but yeah, I've actually been I'm working on a PDF right now for a video for March, which is
nice.
I forget how to make these PDFs. No, I'm kidding. It's like riding a bike. So, yeah, so I'm looking forward to cranking out some of those videos, and then a lot of the folks over in are going back to work a little bit more. So doing a little update on some EDC bag stuff, which is cool. And then it's all in all, it's going pretty well.
Have you considered making a PDF for you on how to make your PDFs?
That's a good idea. I mean,
Or
it's
is
not
that a
that hard.
bit
It's
too
just like
Inception?
it's just like make a Word document and export to PDF, and that's basically it. So
Yeah, that's also part of why I want to do the podcast episodes every week, because I forgot how to make them. And so it takes me a minute to be like, wait a minute, how did I actually format the audio for all of this and make it work? And
yeah,
so
when I did the live stream last week, I was a little confused. I had to press all these buttons. I'm used to it now. Like on Prep Talk Live, I just kind of sit here and blab away, and you take care of you're the brains behind everything. And so
I'm like the concierge. You come in,
yeah,
you sit down. Would you like a beverage?
Yeah. I gotta click buttons and all sorts of stuff.
That was the end of Tup's live stream. He was like, "Wait a minute, I have to work for this? No. I'm going back to the other one. That'll be fine." How was
my wife? I don't think she's up to date on our Wednesday live streams, because she's like are you doing another live stream? I'm like, geez, I haven't done one like in a year, but on that channel, like. It's like I've been hitting it too hard, I guess. But I think this one slides under the radar. I think so. My wife obviously doesn't watch Prep Talk.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. No one we know actually watches it. I'm like, I go upstairs. Yeah, last week I went upstairs and my wife's like, "How was the stream?" And I was like, "It was the best one ever. You didn't even watch it." She was like, "I'll catch the replay."
I need to get my mom to watch it, because then she'll support it and let everyone know. So.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's always good to see Tep's mom in the chat or anything like that.
She's pretty friendly.
So quick question, and then because we are on a bit of a time crunch
piano
today.
lessons.
Tactical piano, understandable.
Tactical piano,
what did you think? Because you did a live stream last week on kind of like, you'd been gone, you hadn't watched a lot of prepping channels. Couldn't help but notice that there was one prepping channel that was totally missing out of the lineup.
I had a few people other people email me, "Hey, welcome, you didn't go through my chat."
Yeah, exactly. Look, I understand, and I'm sure, you know what? And I'm sure you do a live stream podcast with them every week for a year. I get it. I totally understand. There's so many. You were like, who do I choose out of all of these? Okay.
I should have said, look at there's videos out every week on this one.
Yeah, exactly. So would you say there was a takeaway? Like delving back into the prepping world, and you looked at a bunch of different ones. You looked at Sutton's Days was on it, and Canadian Prepper, City Prepper. Like there was a wide range of topics and points of view that you were looking at. Was there anything about it that you kind of came out of, you were like, wow, I didn't really realize what was what was happening, or takeaways from it?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's kind of what I thought it was going to be for the most part. Sutton's Days was doing awesome canning and prepping type stuff. There was the catchy titles, and the fear one seemed to be pretty popular. Those resonate. There's not a lot of EDC updates I didn't see for people. Like the old days are over. I mean, they're over, huh? Like it used to be cool to like have EDC update and like bug out bag and all those kind of things.
And that was more of like, when is the world ending?
It's all these titles that are like, what if, or I don't. Do this or you will die. It's like, okay, what do I got to do? It's a lot of this, but I think that's all of YouTube, and YouTube's a lot more saturated, I think, than what it was even 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and so you kind of have to do some of that to stick out. But some of it's a little cringy, and I don't know. But I don't know. I measure our videos on, I bet all of our thumbnails, and if someone were to look at all of our videos, I think we're smiling probably at all of them. And
we are.
That's usually a good sign for me. That's a good sign for a video. And then also, I like trying to think about the folks that do what I think would do the videos for free. Even like I think YouTube paying people, they should have never given you preppers money. I think you and I would be doing this, with or without the millions of dollars that come our way. But
no, I would not. The literal 18 cents that we make off of these things, like that is it's my only reason right there. I just stack the pennies and just can you even get pennies anymore? Like, I know, like they keep saying they're gonna phase out the penny, and like,
well, I went to one of those coin. I have a little jar and where we put our coins, and I just went in there this past week to because it was for an EDC video. Actually, I'm like, I could use some spare because my kids always take my cash from me, so I never I never have it, and so I'm like, I need some cash. So I cashed in on some pennies, and they took their 10% cut or whatever it is, but at least I didn't have to count anything, and because I needed to have some dollars for my EDC hat because I'm now starting to store dollars in my
because of inflation.
Yeah, inflation. You
Yeah.
never know.
Yeah, it used to be quarters, and now it's only 5s and 10s.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. The prepping landscape is kind of what I was anticipating, but it's going to be good to have more videos with you and I doing our solo game stuff and continuing with our weekly improv comedy hour.
Exactly. I'll get to say I knew you when.
Yeah.
There was that time. That wonderful. We'll always have the live stream.
Yeah, the only thing I think that might change a little bit is that on the Wednesday night, because my boss is trying to get me to come into the office on Wednesday, so I'm trying to figure out that part. But I'll have my people talk to your people.
Well, we can figure out a new night. We can.
Yeah.
I can be flexible. We can. You all
should do like Sunday morning church. Like it should be like at 10 a.m. on Sunday.
Yeah, exactly. This is how we slowly say that it's not you, it's me. It's like it's not you, it's my schedule, my boss, my this, my that. Okay, and then launching in April is going to be the Tup and Bernie show. That's what's going to happen.
Bernie's he's way too expensive. Like just a single appearance costs it's 4 figures.
Exactly. That's why. Yeah, we use him sparingly. Yeah. So we've got questions, which is fantastic. So what I wanted to do is I saw a TikTok. We talk about canning and all this sort of stuff, and I do have a not so secret wish to have a freeze dryer one of these days. Yeah. And I saw a guy. Normally, people are like freezing individual, like ingredients and stuff, and the idea would be you have rice and flour and that sort of, and you can make whatever you want. This guy was making spaghetti, and they were making like pans with like cooked noodles, and then they put sauce on it, and then they put it in the actual, like the real freezer.
Really? Wow.
Froze it, then took like a pizza knife and cut them into individual like frozen spaghetti sickles, and then freeze dried those, so that when they came out, they were like individual servings of spaghetti with sauce and noodles and everything else. I was like, that is the coolest thing I had ever seen. He also had like these 3D printed spacers. So I was like, oh, now I need a 3D printer too. I mean, it happens. But what are your thoughts on balancing saving, like storing ingredients versus storing like meals that are like ready to go, like whether it's like, I think like canned soup, for example. Yeah. And I think about like the prepping pantry idea, having like chicken soup and with some vegetables and stuff in it, or like ugly chicken already in it or whatever. Good all together, but also good to use and kind of cycle through. But, for long-term storage, having the individual ingredients might give you more flexibility with what you're actually going to make or what you need. It's kind of an interesting balance, I think, that needs to be struck.
We really don't do like a lot of like MREs, like for dinner type stuff. It's usually like a la carte individual items. But what are my thoughts on it? I don't know. I should probably be more disciplined, and then it'd be good. But I don't think we've ever made something and then like froze it, and then like that was our meal the next day. I don't know. I don't think we've done it with the frozen thing. Let me think. Yeah. I don't think so.
Yeah, like for freezing stuff. Yeah, like freezing stuff. Like we've done like, okay, we'd make like extra spaghetti sauce and like freeze that, or we've done chicken broth. And a couple of times we've done chicken soup, especially if we knew that like when we had babies and we knew that like the second baby was on the way, like we went ahead and froze a bunch of meals in advance so that we had them just ready to go. Yeah. But I often think about things like, storing chicken broth, like you can use that for a bunch of different things. But also if you put the stuff in it, then you wouldn't have to like freeze the broccoli separately to go in the soup, or you wouldn't have to freeze the chicken separately. It would just all be contained in a serving size thing.
Yeah, I think we do more of if we're gravitating more towards like the canning side of things, and if it
Yeah.
has fit in a mason jar style thing, and if it doesn't, then we're not doing it. There are times where we used to freeze spaghetti sauce, and then I just forget about it, and then I throw it away after like 3 years or whatever it ends up being. So yeah, us personally, we go more towards the canning side of prepping and not the freeze drying stuff. Freeze dryers are so expensive. I don't know, you can spend like 4 or 5 grand on a freeze dryer.
Yeah.
And like, would you be better off getting the freeze dryer, or would you be better off spending 4 to 5 grand on like a pantry supply? It's like, I don't know.
Yeah. We have kind of a unique, I would say, unique situation in that we have a bunch of different food allergy type things going on with our family, but also with my brother's family and my parents and stuff. So we've talked about like maybe we get a family freeze dryer, and like everybody kind of joins in, and then we could share it. And then instead of canning, like if we're traveling or something, you don't necessarily know what sort of food options are going to be available whenever you land, whether it's for work or something like that. Okay, we could like freeze dry meals that we know would be safe, and then make them there. So kind of use it for daily use as well as the kind of emergency situation sort of an idea.
Yeah, I don't really do like joint family stuff. Like, not that I don't like my family, but
all right, we all heard it here first. Tup hates his family, so
it's like having a truck. It's like, hey, let's get the family truck so we can all have a truck to go to the junkyard, and then it just ends up at one person's burden type thing. So, yeah, I think the same would happen with the family the family freeze dryer. Like,
just so we're clear. So you're leaving the stream to go do your own stream with Bernie. You don't want to be involved with your family, and your wife's you're upset with your wife because she's taking your shelves. What has happened?
It's going dark. Yeah. It's like Spider-Man 3, where he the Venom syrup.
He came back from he does 2 live streams and he's just all about it. Okay, anyway, so we got a couple of.
It's like, yeah, I don't know. It's like having the family truck. It's usually one person's truck.
Well, I also think it depends on like proximity. So our family is really close. We live within like 2 miles or 3 miles of each other. So like sharing stuff like we had like a family pressure washer, because like we had room to like you could store it in somebody's garage, but then like instead of like you come pick it up and it would fit in your trunk, and like, okay, we didn't need it, sort of a thing. Yeah. We've done that with certain other things. This is probably the biggest thing that we've considered doing that with. But I think if you live further away from each other, like it wouldn't really work like that.
We all live pretty close to each other. I don't know. Maybe my family's not as close as your family. Quit bragging about your tight knit family.
Go to therapy. Like what is wrong?
Someone said Casey and Tup need couples counseling.
Yeah, who didn't hug you? What's happening?
Yeah, we had the family truck that we bought, my father's truck, and then like every year, hey, it's time to pay up on tabs. It's time to get new tires. I'm like, I don't want the family truck anymore. So I wonder if the same thing would happen with the family freeze dryer.
Freeze dryer. This is your opportunity to actually get a leg up, though, because as much as you didn't want the truck, like you would want the freeze dryer. So it'd be like, okay, like I'll get the freeze dryer, and then you'd be the one that would use it. And they would just all kind of pay into it, as opposed to like the truck when like you were paying in but didn't use it. It's Tup's revenge is what it is. Yeah. I think. Okay. All right. Good. All right. So we got a couple questions because we're being mindful of time, and people actually gave us good questions. So
yeah, there's a lot. They're coming in.
I know. So Pigs Fly says, talking about ingredients, do you two preppers store extra water to rinse your rice? If not, what kind of rice do you store? I'm going to let you answer that one first.
Well, they say that you should have, a gallon a day, and then they have some for like sanitation and some for cooking type things. I don't think I think of it like, oh, this is for rice and this is for sanitation. You just have certain water that you store. And some of the rice I have, I don't even rinse, to be honest. There's some that are dirtier than others. And what kind of rice do I store? I store the Costco Kirkland basmati rice, the white basmati.
Yeah, I think I had like, I don't remember if I got instant rice or if I got like, I actually don't remember what rice we got. We got it. We did the rice and beans Mylar bagging thing like
Yeah.
3 or 4 years ago. And I want to say I got it at Cash and Carry, but it may have been at Costco. And it was 25 pounds of, I want to say like maybe it was brown rice. I don't even remember. I think we would get the basmati from Costco because we like that.
Yeah.
We testing different types of rice. Basmati seems to be the winner. And I don't know about rinsing it. I think if we were in an emergency situation and we were rationing water, I would be less concerned about rinsing the rice than just making sure that we had enough to cook it with. I don't know what sort of problem that would cause. If it would just make it gummier, like if it didn't taste as good, but it was still
it wouldn't taste as good. It would have like the powdery type stuff. I don't know. In an emergency survival situation, I'm eating the powdery rice like that. The non-rinsed rice is okay with me.
Yeah, Chuck says he can't tell the difference. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe we have to do like a taste test or like
we also live like in the Northwest, and so I mean, water. So it's raining. We could have the rice strainer, and we could just put it outside for a little bit and
we just put like a big thing of rice out, like, and it would just be rinsed continually. Yeah, it would be like overnight oats, but for rice.
Yeah, a lot of people are into the rainwater catchers that they have on the roof. We would have just like rice strainer water, and
yeah, exactly. 100%. I love that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, basmati. Basmati is my preferred rice of choice.
Yeah, I think I like that one as well. So one thing I also saw was Susan was talking about the Adderall shortage. It's going on 6 months. Yeah, that is problematic. I know some people who rely on Adderall, and as good as I am at acquiring things that are in shortage and things, that has been a tricky one. I would recommend for anybody who's trying to find that to call around to multiple pharmacies and go as far out as you can. We have had difficult time finding it at like our main big box pharmacies, but like Costco sometimes has it, or you can find like more of a local family owned pharmacy or like a compounding pharmacy that might have some. Also the generic versus the premium. I know there are certain people who only can have like the brand name, that they have reactions to the generic one. So call around. I would say be in touch with your doctor or prescribing doctor, because if you need to transfer the prescription, it may be something that's time sensitive. So if they have it, and if you can find a pharmacy that has it, you would probably need to get the prescription transferred quickly before everyone else finds out that they have it, and then they've eaten through that supply. The last I saw is it was supposed to get better in March, but it seems like there's really conflicting reports from the manufacturers and the FDA on like what's the problem.
Yeah, so I'm not up to date on. We don't have Adderall, so
yeah, exactly.
I'm not up to date with it. So, but yeah, I'm not. We're not giving medical advice, so don't sue us.
Yeah. We're not giving. I'm only giving you acquisition advice.
Yeah,
yeah. You have to have a prescription to get it, but if you need help,
getting rated.
Oh, we're getting rated.
What'd you say?
Right. Okay, we're about to lose Cup. Let's see if I can find one more.
Give me 3 minutes, G. Okay. Sorry.
All right. Did the meal prep guy, when he freeze dried it, did it blow up or get puffy or freeze dried? Actually, no. Well, hold on. Let me say this. I don't think so. I'm trying to remember the video. It didn't look like it got puffy. It looked like it just came, because some stuff when you freeze dry it gets super puffy, like candy, like the candy TikToks where they're like freeze drying the nerd ropes and stuff, and there was like crazy like marshmallows. That's pretty cool. This looked more like it just kept its shape, but it was just freeze dried like a brick of spaghetti. So
yeah, City. When I went to City Prepping's house and hung out with him, it was crazy. Like all the stuff that he was freeze drying was they're high rollers. They're
yeah, exactly. Look, he's got almost as many subscribers as you do. It's just almost
He has like the paparazzis after him. He has to have bodyguards and all sorts of stuff. Legal team and
teams.
yes.
Yeah, couples counseling. We're working on it.
That's we're working on it.
Yeah, we're gonna do some Zooms. We're gonna see if we can get to the bottom of why we
We
feel the
should
way
make
that we
like the anti-doom Zoom with everyone smiling,
exactly.
or just one person that's in a bad mood the whole time.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just looking through lots of people saying basmati rice.
Yeah,
Some people are talking about dog food and making sure 100% make sure you consider your pets because they likely will not eat the same thing. I know that some, for example, dog owners or cat owners will feed like human food or meat or something like that. If your animal is not used to that, I'm not a vet. This is not pet vet advice. But I always try to make sure that we have at least a bag or two
yeah.
of food for our cat and treats. And I have, we have cans in case we need to go and we need to, smaller packaging. But then we also have the big bags of kibble in case we're staying here. So definitely make sure that you
a tricky one because it's heavy. That stuff's all heavy. Like if you're bugging out, like having all that the canned food and dry food, that can definitely add up for sure. But your pets are, they're part of the family for most people. And I think like the dehydrated, like they have dehydrated pellet stuff, which are full meals. I think those ones are good for like evacuation kits.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're the same where we have a couple bag buffer type thing. But it's the dog food actually it doesn't last as long. Like even if you put it in a Mylar bag, it's not like how rice lasts for 30 years or something. They go bad still. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a trickier one.
How are you going to bug out with the fish?
The fish are on their own. They're done.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat them. I'm gonna eat them. It's gonna be a little snack before.
That's one meal of dog food. You don't have to.
Yeah, if you talk to Brad from Full Spectrum Survival, his plan is that he wouldn't feed the dogs dog food. He would use the dog pellets to grow rats to feed the dogs. So you would feed the rat because the rats would keep reproducing, and all you have to do is feed from what I learned, is you feed a rat. Just one dog kibble per day is enough to feed them, and then you just feed the dogs rats as they reproduce. So that's but I don't know if I could do that. Well, I guess maybe if it's
there's so many parts of prepping that are so interesting to me from like a scientific math perspective of like how you figure all of that out. And then there's the flip side that is just so awful that you're just like just mining rats for your dog. Oh my God. I don't even know. But like, I mean, it works. It's genius idea. But yeah, I don't know that I could. I mean, I'm sure that I could if needed to, but like
if need be,
Pig's Fly says you should put the fish in a Ziploc bag.
Yeah, I could do that. Yeah, that's
or
you're blowing it and circle it and heat it a little bit.
You pack the fish in your stomach pouch.
We have this big. It's a big eel. It's about the size of my arm, like my full arm. It's humongous. And
wow,
that thing's going. That's gonna be fish dinner day one.
It's like sushi.
Yes, it's the sashimi.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll be like Tom Hanks from Castaway, where he's just eating straight off of
it. Oh my goodness!
I don't know. I've raised you your whole life, and now you're meal one.
So aside from couples counseling, Tup is going to be taking special counseling with his fish. There needs to be a conversation.
I don't like the fish. The fish are my wife's. It's kind of a touchy subject.
Okay.
I don't want these fish.
She's going to feed them pepper jelly. That's what's going to happen.
I feel like fish, we could even talk about a whole episode on that. I feel like they're a liability for preppers because they, if there's an earthquake, they're going to get water all over the place, fish flapping all over. There are power outages. I have to take care of the fish for the temperatures and stuff. They don't love me. Fish don't love me. They don't.
So, how do you know? All right. So next week's episode is going to be pets and the preppers who love them. And that'll be our topic.
For pets. I think prep pets or pet preps. Because and fish aquariums, that's a tough one, especially when you're talking about natural disaster stuff. If there's a real grid down scenario, To be again, we have couples battles internally at the top household, but I'm like, I don't want to be I don't want to be giving my power out to the fish.
Yes.
But the cats and the dogs, they don't need that kind of that stuff, but the fish, I guess, do.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Yeah. Because we've got the cat who, like, he'll probably get my seat in the car as we're bugging
Yeah,
out. Like, I would just be running along and then we have the chickens, which are the current. They are the current discussion at our house between me and my wife of whether or not there will be another round of chickens or not.
yeah.
So yeah. All right. So next week,
Well,
pet preps.
yeah, pet preps. And
All
I gotta
right.
need to run because they're gonna raid me, so I'm gonna get
Tactical
spotted here.
tactical piano is coming to get you.
Yeah,
All
tactical
right.
piano. Yeah.
Thanks everybody for joining us. We will see you next
We'll
week.
we'll go to counseling, and then we'll come
Exactly.
back, and we'll be
Um,
a
and
better
keep
spot.
an eye out. Keep an eye out for some new streams, some new videos, some new things.
Yeah.
With the newly energized or re-energized Cascadia Dispatch and the Urban Prepper.
Yeah.
All right. See ya, everybody. Bye.
Alrighty.